Boys, welcome back to the YouTube. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me today. Today we are back with the Dynasty content. We got our top 25 to 30-ish quarterbacks. Got a tier list for the Dynasty quarterbacks. Let's get right into it. Number one, not much of a surprise. He hasn't been as good fantasy points-wise, but Dynasty value, still clearly the most valuable player. Patrick Mahomes, basically any website you use, he's maxed out value. But in the same tier, I am going to put Josh Allen at 2, Jalen Hurts at 3. They both are putting up like 4 to 5 more points per game than Patty. I'm expecting the Chiefs to get some more weapons. Patty will be better in the future, but this year in redraft, would way rather have Allen and Hurts. This is being recorded Monday of Week 15, so the Bills just beat the Cowboys. The Eagles have not played. Jalen Hurts is sick. We'll see how productive he is today, but again, this week doesn't matter for these rankings, but Patty at 1, Allen at 2, Hurts at 3. Moving down, a player I was not expecting at all to even sniff this area before the season. CJ Stroud has been insane. He didn't play this week. He has a concussion. Hopefully he's all good, but he has been amazing. Dynasty, obviously, as we all know, youth makes players can be super overvalued, but in general, you do want young guys so you can have them for a long time. CJ Stroud, rookie, insane. Should win Rookie of the Year. I have him as my QB4. I have him even ahead of my next quarterback, Joe Burrow. Another guy injured this year. But again, it's Joe Burrow. Not too worried about it. Should come back. Still tied to Jamar Chase. They're probably losing T. Higgins, so the situation might get a little bit worse over time. But as of now, Joe Burrow is still top 5 Dynasty quarterback. And this is including rookies. So next up, got Caleb Williams. Should be the 101 in real life. Should be the 101 or 1 and 2 in rookie drafts between him and Marvin Harrison. We got to remember, for better or for worse, name value holds a lot of value. I don't know how else to put it, but Caleb Williams, the name, people know it. Super, super hyped up prospect. Seen as borderline in the Trevor Lawrence tier. So people are going to value that. We'll see how he performs. I have my question marks. I think he's going to be good. Is he going to be as good as everyone's saying? We'll see. We'll see. But just value-wise, I have him as my QB6. And then last player in A tier, Justin Herbert. Brandon Staley just got fired. Hopefully they can bring in a good coach. Poor guy has had, awful coaching. It has been absolutely atrocious. So Bill Belichick, maybe. There's rumors. So we'll see. But hopefully, either way, it gets a better situation. His receivers are aging. Keenan Allen is getting up there in age. Mike Williams even as well. So they just drafted Quentin Johnson. He isn't looking great. Palmer looks good, but we'll see how long they actually keep Palmer. But he's just such a good player. Still putting up productive points in fantasy. Moving down to the B tier, Lamar Jackson. Again, he's been great this year. People might want to see him in the tier above. It's just running quarterbacks usually do age out a little bit faster. He's not old, but 2018 draft class. He is getting... We'll see how much he can continue to progress as a passer. Obviously, his running is a massive part of his game. Plus, he hasn't been insane for fantasy. Basically, when they get to the goal line, it's Gus Edwards zone. So his touchdown upside is definitely capped in this new offensive scheme. So in B tier, next up, might be a little controversial. I have Anthony Richardson. Still super high on Richardson. He was amazing when he played for fantasy. You got to remember, this is Dynasty Fantasy. It's not real life rankings. This is for fantasy football. Anthony Richardson was absolutely incredible. Injured a ton. Injured way too much. If that continues to be a pattern, he is going to plummet down these rankings. But if he can learn to protect himself a little bit better, if he can continue to progress as a passer, he is going to be absolutely incredible for fantasy. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but he could easily get in this Jalen Hurts tier if he continues to progress. For now, have him as my, 7, 8, QB 9. Love the upside long term for AR. Next up, this is also going to be really controversial. I have Brock Purdy all the way up here. Most people have him a bit lower. He should win MVP this year. Dak Prescott just put up a stinker. The betting odds are like minus 150 for Brock Purdy to win MVP. He has been incredible. He's the current QB4 in redraft, the QB4 in points per game. He has been balling out. Like, honestly, you could make an argument for him to even be at the top of this tier. I don't know if I can put here, but he's put up more points per game than Lamar. He's younger than Lamar. He's on the Niners. I am a massive Brock Purdy fan. Again, we got to remember he's probably going to win MVP, and when he does, that is going to boost his value. I feel like he's also ranked lower because Dynasty community values draft capital a ton. He was obviously Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick in the draft. So people just don't think he has the talent. He's awesome. He's such a good player in the perfect situation. I definitely think Brock Purdy deserves to be in this spot. I think maybe even higher. I know a lot of people would have him lower, but again, massive fan. Next up, Trevor Lawrence. Is Trevor Lawrence a better prospect than Brock Purdy? 100% absolutely. Is he maybe a better player long term? Definitely could be. Just the situation right now, and this is for fantasy football, fantasy points. Brock Purdy's been putting up insane numbers. Trevor Lawrence has been super inconsistent for fantasy. There was a point, I don't want to make things up, like up until week 8 or 10, he had no games above, I think it was 18.5 fantasy points. Brock Purdy's averaging over 19. So I do think Brock Purdy belongs here. He's younger. Again, this dynasty youth is valued. And then the last player in this tier, I think. Do I have Trevor here? I think I had Trevor in this tier. Yeah, we'll move down. If need be, I'll fix it up later. Again, this is including rookies. Drake May, projected to be a top 3 pick in real life. If that happens, again, he's a rookie. They're going to be super valued to start. He has rushing upside, and depending on the situation, you could put some of these other guys. Definitely could see the argument, but rookies in Dynasty, they're fun. Everyone loves rookies. They're going to be overvalued. Not saying that this is overvalued, but their value is going to be bumped up. So we got Drake May there. Next up, we got Tua in an awesome situation. He was insane to start the season. He's still been good, but definitely took a hit. For example, this week without Tyreek, put up 12.96 points, I believe, against the Jets. They won 30-0, but he still put up under 13 points. So, love Tua. I'm a massive fan, as a player. Love Tua, but for fantasy, doesn't exactly put up the points you want to see consistently on a week-to-week basis. Next up, Dak Prescott. He was the MVP frontrunner or second up to Purdy these last few weeks. He's probably not going to win it now. Just put up a terrible game against the Bills. They got destroyed. But he is a little bit older. I believe around 30 years old. He has been insane for fantasy. He's been awesome. But with the age, I personally think this is probably going to be his best season. He can definitely put around it. I'm not sure if he's ever going to put up a season quite as good. So I think this is pretty fair for Dak. Next up, Kyler Murray. Another quarterback with rushing upside. There was a lot of rumors earlier in the year. They were going to tank. They were going to take Caleb Williams. They were going to take Drake May. Doesn't look like it. At this point, looks like Kyler is their guy, which is awesome for his dynasty value. I have him in one of my main leagues. Super happy about it. Big Kyler fan. And then last player in this tier, another rookie. We got Jaden Daniels. This is all dependent on draft capital. This is assuming he gets top 5, top 10 draft capital. He has insane rushing upside, which we all love for fantasy. We love the rushing quarterbacks. They put up tons of points, obviously Hurts, Allen. Elite upside, clearly the 1 and 2 in redraft this year because of the rushing upside. So if Jaden Daniels gets the draft capital, honestly, you can make an argument even higher than this. It's just for now, capital's a little bit unknown. Say he falls to the 20s, might bump him down. But for now, assuming he gets good draft capital, goes to a good situation, here, maybe even higher, but we're going to have him at the end of C tier. Starting off on D tier, a player that it's confusing. It is confusing what the Bears are going to do. He has looked great at times, bad at other times, and the Bears right now hold the number 1 overall pick from the Panthers. The Panthers just beat the Falcons, but probably will still end up as the worst team. So the Bears are in prime position to have an opportunity to take someone like Caleb Williams if they want Drake May. Feels though for fantasy. Has the rushing upside we're looking for. Has the massive ceiling every single week. It's tough. I don't think I can put him in C tier with all these guys. Tua has job security. Dak has job security. Kyler right now looks like he has job security. Fields, it's unknown. If he goes to a new team, they're not going to be as committed because they didn't draft him. It's just, unfortunately, that's just how it works in the NFL. It's a business. GMs want their guy. If they didn't draft him, they're on a way shorter leash. So, and because of that reason, I still have Bryce Young here. Yes, he looked horrible. He looked so bad this year. He was absolutely atrocious in fantasy. But the situation was awful. I'm expecting it to get better. They're going to bring in a new coach, hopefully an offensive coach, hopefully someone that can help him develop. I still believe in the talent. I still think over time, the situation is going to get better. Yes, they don't have their first round draft pick, which is the first overall pick. It sucks. But I still believe in the talent. I still think long term, he has upside. Plus, being the 101, he has at least some sort of insulated value. Next up, a player that's really hard to rank, Deshaun Watson. Joe Flacco's come in. He has looked awesome for the Browns. Watson has that contract. He also has that history we all know about. And he looked really good at times, really bad at other times. It's a really tough player to rank, so I'm just going to put him in the same tier with, like, he has security because of the contract, but also, like, I don't know. Flacco's looked great. I'm not saying Flacco's going to take over. It's going to be Deshaun Watson's job, but I don't know. It's weird in Cleveland. Next up, a player that, has there been a quarterback that has had more of a roller coaster year than Jordan Love? He was awesome to start the year. Then he was terrible. Then the last few weeks he was awesome. Beat the Chiefs and then lost to the Giants, looking absolutely atrocious on Monday night. And now just lost to the Buccaneers. So I don't know. He's been up and down all year. Is he the long-term answer at quarterback for the Packers? I don't know. He definitely could be. It's just, I don't know. Has he shown enough? We'll see. He's looked good. Again, multiple games he's put up over 20 fantasy points. He's been good for fantasy. But, again, like I said a million times, not sure how much job security he has. Next up, Russell Wilson. There we go. Highlighting the letters there for a bit. But Russell Wilson, to begin the season, looked like they were trying to get rid of him. Didn't want him. Really, really stepped it up in the middle of the season. Putting up pretty great numbers. He was pretty solid. Unfortunately, just got killed by the Lions. So they're probably not making the playoffs. I would assume they still keep him. That contract's still massive. I don't know how they get out of it. Especially with how, like, he was pretty decent. He was pretty good this year. So I'm going to put him in the same tier. I think he has some pretty safe job security. It's just he is a bit older. And how much longer does he have? We'll see. But I at least think few more seasons, Russell Wilson is serviceable. This next player, I'm going to drop a tier. I'm going to put Sam Howell here. I don't think Sam Howell has much job security personally. The Washington Commanders have been horrible. They have been so bad. I think they hold currently the 4th or 5th pick in the draft. Not saying they're drafting a quarterback, but they easily could. Sam Howell, he's been solid. Like, he hasn't been bad. It's just the situation is terrible. And they're going to bring in a whole new regime, I'm assuming. There's a new ownership. They're going to get rid of everyone. I'm assuming the coach is going to be gone. They're bringing a new coach. I'd assume new GM. They're not going to have ties to Sam Howell. He was a 5th round draft pick. They're going to want to bring in their guy. So he has upside for fantasy. He's been solid at points this year. Long term, though, I don't know how much upside and how much safety he really brings. Another player, Aaron Rodgers. This is basically just for next year. I'm assuming one good year of Aaron Rodgers, so he's pretty low down. Doesn't have obviously the same upside he had when he was, like, say, that insane, like, 2010s run he had. Still think he's serviceable for one more year, so that's why he's down here. Jared Goff is next. You can make an argument Goff being ahead because he probably has more years than Aaron Rodgers, more job security than Sam Howell. Just put up over 30 points against the Broncos. About that game we're talking about Russell Wilson. It's just in general, he doesn't seem to have much upside week to week. Like, he has upside, but consistently putting up good points. It doesn't seem like he has that. So he's a serviceable QB2. It's just, me personally, if I had him, I would want to upgrade. Kirk Cousins could be higher than this. It's just we don't know what's happening. Do the Vikings re-sign him? Do they let him walk? Does he go to a new team? What team does he go to? If he was guaranteed to stay in Minnesota, I would like him a lot more. He was insane this year for fantasy before he got hurt. I think he was QB 6, I want to say, before he went down with that Achilles injury. So he is getting up there in age. Don't know about the situation. Again, if he stayed in Minnesota, guaranteed he would be higher than this. It's just we don't know that. And then last player of the video, I think. Just going to throw Will Levis in here. Another rookie. He has a second round draft capital, so not the draft capital you're looking for. Another player up and down. That first game he came in, 4 touchdown passes. He looked awesome. Since then, again, kind of like this. He beat the Dolphins on Monday night. Great win. I don't know. He went down with an ankle injury this week. I think it's a sprained ankle, so hopefully nothing too serious. So we'll see how the Titans go about this offseason if he's their long-term answer. So I threw him at the end of E tier. So yeah, we got, what is this, like 25, 30-ish QBs ranked tier list. So again, appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. If there's any other videos you want to see, drop them down in the comments. Would love to hear what you guys want to see, any suggestions of how to improve anything. Again, kind of just getting back into YouTube, talking about Dynasty. So again, appreciate all of you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Have a good one.